Hi, everybody. Welcome to LifeWorks Secrets to Success. I'm here with Adam, Amanda, and Pamela. I'm Rebecca. And tonight we are going to share with you one of the big secrets to manifesting, which is working from the end result. If you want to bring about a change in your life or manifest something or heal yourself, do all the amazing things that we're capable of, you have to work from the end result. That means ask as if you've already received it. That's biblical. But he knew what he was talking about. And many of the great mystics that have followed this path are all teaching us that very same thing. You have to believe that you've really gotten what it is that you desire. But it's a little tricky because we get hypnotized by that outer world that we're taking in with our 3D senses, and it can sometimes bum us out and keep us from realizing our dreams because we start to buy into the idea that it will never happen to us. It's too difficult, or, doubt creeps in. So we're all going to talk about, maybe we can give examples of how we've actually done this, worked from the end result and gotten the results that we wanted. Do you want me to go first with a couple of examples?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I've been studying this, for over 50 years, because when I was 21, that guy, Ron, sat me down and said, okay, this is how you manifest. And it worked so well for me that I've been studying it ever since. And that was a long time ago. But I have learned that the secret is that it's good to have clear your thought. That's why, as a Silva trainer, we teach people to forget that you have a body, forget that you have a mind, and then visualize the end result that you desire and feel like you've already gotten it. And I was going over some of the things I manifested in my life that, some of them happened very quickly. If you set a deadline and you really need to meet that deadline, it will happen on the deadline. For instance, I pictured a cornucopia over my head 10 years ago when my fixed income, my retirement income, was going to drop because of the plan I took. And on that very day, June 1st of that year, I was invited to a cornucopia circle of women who are very powerful. They were all over the world, Bali, England, Hawaii, all of the United States. And we would get together every week in a mastermind. And it was very empowering. Not only did I make money, but it was spiritual growth too. When I was in my 20s, I sat down with myself when I was living in Marin County, and I said, what would I like to do if I wasn't a stewardess? Because sometimes it could be kind of boring being a stewardess. I liked everything but the galley work. That got kind of mundane sometimes. So I said, gee, I'd like to be a modeling agent in New York City, like Eileen Ford. And lo and behold, it took a few years, but I met Jeremy on a flight, and he was an international model actor, and we opened our own modeling agency in New York City. So your higher self, your reticular activating system will guide you to what you're looking for if you pay attention and you're clever enough to acknowledge it when it comes along. Many times, and that's why if you program every day when you're falling asleep at night, it's good, because then you're in the zone of expecting it to come into your life. And the more you expect it, you have to allow it to come and expect it, along with having a burning desire. Although I have to say, some of the things that I've manifested in my life, I was not like a burning desire, but it was just something that I could picture myself being. Because when you really assume the attitude of the wish fulfilled, and you are being that thing, that person, in that situation that you want to be in, it will manifest. Now, my most recent little thing that I did, I've talked about this on videos before. I wanted to prove that my Mega Manifestation Method course worked. So I used the techniques I talk about in my course. I went within, I was sitting at the beach, scratching a scratch ticket, winning some money. The next day I went to a store and went, I feel lucky. And I took a scratch ticket for $20 and won $5,000. So I'm going to try it for $1 million next time. Sometimes you have to build up. But, when you get the signs along the way, the essence of the teaching is that we are really creating our world as we go along with our imaginations and our assumptions. If we assume that we're healthy, wealthy, and wise, that's what we are. If we assume that we're, downtrodden and not doing so well, we get that. And that's why sometimes things don't manifest. We just can't quite believe it in our subconscious mind. And that's why it's important to clear out all that negative programming and use techniques that can clear it out every day. Silva training is one way. The release technique is very good. That's the Sedona method. You just release everything, keep releasing, and clearing your chakras. There's all kinds of ways to do it. But those are a few of my stories. Who would like to tell their stories?
I can go. I mean, I've got a few easy ones. A while ago, and don't ask me why I wanted this, but I just wanted it for whatever reason. I really wanted a Dyson vacuum cleaner because I knew of all the technology and I worked in retail at the time, but I was not willing to pay like 500 or 700 bucks, whatever they were. So I said to my girlfriend at the time, I'm like, listen, I'm going to buy a Dyson. She's like, you're not buying one for that much. And I said, you're right. I'm not buying one for that much. I'm going to buy it for like $100. And she's like, there's no way, they don't sell Dysons that way. And I'm like, I don't know how it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. So one day, Dyson was putting on a training on all of their products. And I was invited to the training because I worked at this retail store. And in there, you can win Dysons by answering questions if they ask you first and you know the right answer. Or you can just buy one for 125 bucks. So I ended up buying one for 125 bucks, and it was brand new Dyson in the box, everything like exactly they would sell them for 125. So that was my one way of doing it. I bought houses that way. I've done so many different things by just being really focused on the end result. And, Rebecca, you talked about having that burning desire. Well, sometimes it's having that painful desire of not having it, right? So a lot of times if I'm in a house or an apartment and I'm paying rent, the pain I create for myself is I have this visualization of someone on a beach in Miami or in some nice beach, sipping margaritas, sitting in the sun, while I'm the sucker here that's paying for this vacation because they have the capital and I didn't have the capital. And I'm just like, I'm gonna make sure I have a house so I have something to own, so it's mine and I can get a return on my investment. And right, I just create this whole story in my head of reverse engineering. So I'm like, okay, so if I want all of that, the first thing I have to do is I have to get a house so that I know that when I sell my house, I'm going to have a good retirement at the end. So I don't have to worry about my retirement. And I got to figure out how to gain enough capital where I can start then. So I'm just thinking about all the steps of, what I want first, what has to have happen at the end in order for all these other things to kind of go. And I know a lot of people, and I've talked about this probably 100 times on this channel, but, I listened to The Secret so many times when I was, driving back and forth to Toronto. It's the only CD that I would put on constantly, and believe a CD at the time, believe it or not. And I know no one has CD players in their cars anymore, but I actually had a CD player in my car at the time. And I listened to it over and over and over again. And I always remember this phrase is AVR: ask, believe, and receive. So I give this example a lot. If you go to the Amazon.com, and you place your order for this widget that you want to buy, you don't go back the very next day and you look outside and the box isn't there yet.
you don't go back into Amazon and reorder it again and saying, well, I didn't get it yet. Like, I guess I got to reorder it again. And you do that every day. Like, that's not how Amazon works. The way the process works is there is a process. You order it, Amazon goes through their thing. They have someone that picks it. They have someone that does it. They then go through and do their process. They put it on the UPS truck or whatever truck, and they have goes into it.
Yeah, Adam, your sound is a little low.
How's that? Is that better?
That's better. No.
Okay.
All right, you go to Amazon, you got to that part.
So you go to Amazon and you place your order. And then when the order doesn't come through, you don't go back and reorder it. And then Amazon has their processes where, they have a guy that goes to the warehouse and picks it, puts it onto a belt, and then it gets sorted all out. Then it goes to a major facility, and then it goes out to another facility. Like, they have their entire process before that product lands up on your door. But it's the same thing with the universe. The universe has a process. And how many times do we go through this process and we say, hey, we want $1 million. And then the universe is like, okay, I got it. I'm working on it. And then you go, well, this doesn't work. And it's just like, oh, you want to cancel it? Okay, no problem. I'll cancel your order. And then, okay, there's no refund. So don't worry. It's just canceled. You're all good. And that's not what your intention was. So for me, that's what I find a lot of times is what really happens is I just remember ABR, ask, believe, and receive. And receiving is probably the hardest thing for anyone to do, because anyone can ask for anything. That's probably the easiest step. Anyone can probably believe that they're going to get it if it's within reason of their current lifestyle and their current life, the way that they're living it. But receiving it is where it gets really difficult, because when it's not showing up, you're like, this doesn't work, and this person's so wrong, and I don't know what I was doing believing in this person. But it's really, really focusing in on that end result, and almost that lack of the pain of it not being here for me is the part that kind of really works for me. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but when I feel like I don't have something, like, here's a really good example, and this is just brand new, is we just moved into this new house, and it's a rental. And we go to Costco once a week, and we buy 2 cases of water. And I'm looking at, I don't know how much they are, $6.99 or whatever they are, $4.99, $5.99, whatever they are. I don't even know. I don't even look at the price because it pisses me off so much. Anyways, we buy these 2 cases of water, and we're going through it. And I know it's crappy water that we're drinking in the first place. And I'm like, I need to get a water system. I need to get like a Kangen water system. What is the best water system? I don't even care the price. I'm just so pissed that I'm drinking crappy water. And I have to do this every week. I have to get 2 cases. I have to carry the damn things in from my car. I have to pick them up from the pile. I have to put them in my cart underneath. And I'm just thinking about this entire process and how annoyed I am. And I'm like, I need to get a Kangen water system. I got to figure out how to get it. We just got to get it. And then, we get it, and I'm having to hook it all up, and it's not as easy as it could be to hook it all up. Anyways, took me a little while to figure it all out, but we finally got it all hooked up. We finally got it all done. And that's just kind of like the manifestation. That's me thinking the end results. I don't want this water anymore in my house. I want good, clean water. And I got to tell you the difference when you like hold them up to the light. You're like, what? I can't believe I was drinking that. It's like swamp water that you're getting from Costco. That's just in my head. That's how I know it's not that, but just anyways, that's just kind of how I reverse engineer things.
Well, what I'm hearing from you, and this is, you're committed. See, you're going to get a different water system than buying it in the store. You're going to buy a house no matter what. You're going to, do something. And that's what stimulates the neurons in the brain, the emotion. Like many of my best manifestations have come when I was crying and saying, I give up. I don't know what's supposed to happen. The next day I have my manifestation delivered to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I got very emotional. When
Mhm.
you're up against the wall and you've got nowhere to go, that's when this higher intelligence can step in and bring you the solution, because the universe knows you're serious.
Well, I think the emotions are the key part to it all. When you're not emotional, one way or the other, right? I'm emotional, like I'm pissed off that I'm getting this
Yeah.
swamp water from Costco and I got to get this new water system. Like it's just that emotion. It's just like, your universe and your mind are connecting and saying, okay, we got to like calm this guy down because he's going to lose his mind in a minute if he doesn't get this water system, right? And like ask Amanda, like I spent hours working on it and she's like, do you not want to like take a break? And I'm like, no, I want to get this done. It's pissing me off at this point. I got to get this water system. Like I can't drink this Costco water anymore. Right. So it's just this whole mindset of really having that emotion, I think is the absolute key when it comes down to manifestation. And that's where so many people miss it, is whatever works for you. Like if it's that excitement and you're just building up towards it, like, when you're like going to Disney World and for people like to go to Disney World, I mean, I wouldn't go anymore, but when you're first going for your first time, you're so excited and you're like, you can barely sleep. Or Christmas morning, you're waking up and you're waiting for your parents to get up when you're young. And you're like, wake up, I want to open my presents. Santa Claus is here. Like that kind of excitement, right? If you have that kind of emotion, or my kind of emotion where I get really, I don't want to say angry. Angry is not the right word, but I'm really kind of irritated with the situation and I'm just trying to figure out the solution as quickly as possible. I think those are the key things to reverse engineering quickly, really, really quickly.
Yes. And the more you demonstrate it, the more you get examples in your life of overcoming something or rearranging something, the more confident you get that it will always work. And that emotion is I think very, very key to it. I've even met metaphysical people that have said, oh yeah, this really scary thing happened to me. I got this problem I had to solve, but they relished it because they couldn't, it was like for them solving a complicated math problem and getting the right answer, because there's always a solution. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I had a different experience, well, a lot of different experiences, because you can do this in multiple different ways. And I know like with Adam and I, with our twin flame journey, when we both discovered we were twin flames, we didn't know what it meant. We didn't know what that even looked like. We had like no clue at all. So when I say a journey, it truly was a journey. And after I did a lot of healing and a lot of questioning, because I questioned everything, I was focused on like, well, the how is that going to happen? Because I could not picture it. I couldn't think of it. I just had no clue. And then I just took myself out of it. And I said, I'm not going to worry about the how or the when or whatever. I'm just going to get myself prepared for whatever that may be. But I started visualizing during meditation of us doing things together, like being best friends and doing things and like going to movies or going on vacations or planning trips and like those kind of things. And it was really interesting because I would do it in a lot of it I would do in the 5D world, in a different dimension. And I would call him in and we'd have soul chats together, right? So we really bonded on a soul level way before we bonded in this physical reality. So that's what kept me going, because in the physical reality, I was like, I don't know. I can't see it ever happening. But in the 5D reality, it was more him encouraging me than anything. And it was really different. So, I think it made the coming together physically a lot easier on the both of us.
Yeah. Well, you two knew each. How long did you know each other before you finally really got together? 2 years, 3 years?
Oh, no, 5.
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, that's a very good story too, because who would have thought? I mean, could have fooled me.
Well, you know, what's so funny is like we'll talk to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, we knew. I knew you were going to be together." We're like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I was just waiting for you guys to figure it out." And we're like,
Well,
"How
the
do
vibe was there, but we both had kind of complicated lives, so probably,
Yeah.
but it all works out, right?
it all works out?" Yeah.
That bridge of incidents where, your higher selves can do anything to remove obstacles and find the way. That's what's so fascinating. You don't need to know the how, you just need to know what you want.
Yep. You just have to trust the process. So
Right, right.
I think we were like, how is that ever going to happen? Because that's what brings in doubt when you're trying to figure out the how.
Right.
Then you think, oh, it's never going to happen, and then you miss that boat, or you miss that energy and that vibration of and that frequency, getting that to the end result.
Well, and that goes back to being able to meditate in the fifth dimension, where you're creating with your imagination the scenes like you did that are more real than what you're seeing in the 3D world.
Mhm.
Then bingo, it has to happen.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, I agree. I think the other piece of that too is that sometimes we miss out on what we're trying to attract into our life because we have this mindset that it's going to happen this way,
Mhm.
Right.
and so we basically cancel our order because it's not happening this way,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's been things like, I mean, the RV that we're living in, that was something, the house I had before that, just recently, like last week, because I started a couple weeks ago canning my own food and stuff. And there are some foods that you can't do the water bath. You actually have to do it in a pressure cooker. And I didn't have one of those. And so I was talking to Evan, it's like, okay, so now it's like I was looking at, okay, what kind are there out there and what the price range was. Like, okay, I've got to figure out how to budget this into my life. And then I had a friend, her and I were talking because she does a lot of the canning and stuff. And she said, well, you should talk to people and just reach out to, because sometimes people who are older, they don't have the energy or they don't want to do it anymore. I thought, well, okay, that's interesting. Then I thought, well, I don't really know anybody where we're at. I only know a couple of people and they don't really do that kind of stuff. So we took one of their friends out. And in the meanwhile, I'm just at night, I'm not able to sleep because I'm thinking of all these neat things I can do to make my own food and know exactly what's going into it. Because we don't buy a lot of food from the grocery store anyway. We buy locally, grown stuff. And just the energy level that was creating in me and the excitement for that, right? And then we took a friend out for lunch last Thursday for her birthday. And I was talking to her more about the whole canning process and stuff, and mentioned to her what my friend Sienna had said about maybe somebody, in the community maybe wanting to get rid of theirs or whatever. We had lunch, came back. My heart went to her house to borrow her lawnmower because ours had broken down so he could do a few things. And I was on a call, got off the call, and I'm sitting on my cupboard or my countertop is this huge box. It's like, what is this? It's a dirty box that's sitting on my counter. He goes, well, look and see what it is. So I'm looking. The neighbor who we had taken out for her birthday had bought this canning system back in 1990 something, had opened the box, got overwhelmed by what all was in it, decided this was not something she could do, folded the lids back down and stuck it in her garage. So for over 20 years, it's been sitting in her garage, never been used.
Waiting for you.
Waiting for me. And so now it's like, okay, I only need like one or two little things, just like really minimal under $20 items that I can get to start processing the things I want. I can still use some of it, but there's some foods that they don't have the acid content, so you need to do the pressure cooking to can. But the energy was just like so intense for me. Because I knew I was going to be doing it. I was just figuring out that I was going to be buying for all the equipment. And it never occurred to me that there was another way the universe had it in mind, So sometimes manifesting doesn't have to be this huge thing,
Right.
right? It can be something as simple as, if you're wanting something, just think about, okay, it would be nice if someone would buy a cup of coffee for me, or it would be nice if someone would gift me this, or I want to see a butterfly. I want to, and sometimes if you're not at that point where, like Adam talked about the ABR, if you're not that point where you can believe yet, then pick something tiny, and just set your sights that in the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours. This past weekend I did a divine theta pop, which is like a mini class. And that was my, what I encouraged everybody to do, to set something they wanted to attract in their next 24 hours in their life. And one of the students had just reported in the circle that she had said that she really wanted to start going into art and stuff. But she didn't really want to know, she wanted it to be sent to her. And then what popped up for her yesterday was a free poetry class. And she's like, art has many forms,
Mhm.
right? And so again, if she had limited herself to just painting as the art form, she might have missed this. So
Right.
being open to say, this is what I'm wanting to attract in my life, but not putting down the how, not putting down that it's got to happen by ABC. Just this is what I want to attract. This is what I'm desiring, and this is what I'm attracting. And having that belief is a huge thing, I believe.
Well, yeah, because it is said metaphysically that we should never outline. We should ask for this or something better. Like you don't have to, if you're just trying to manifest a new home, it's the concept of home. You don't know necessarily where it will be exactly, or many times all the details, but it will show up if you're feeling like you're moving.
Mhm.
Well, I think the other thing too, Pamela kind of touched on it. This is your first time manifesting, like consciously manifesting. There's unconscious manifesting that sometimes happens. But if you're really trying to consciously manifest, it's like you don't go to the gym your very first time in years and pick up like 200-pound dumbbells and start curling them. Like you pick up 5-pound dumbbells. And then once you get strong enough, then you pick up 10s and then 20s, and you slowly start to move up. You've got to exercise that muscle. And it's not something that happened just like, oh, I read a book and now I can instantly manifest. It just doesn't work that way. Like
Right.
it really takes a lot of practice, really takes a lot of discipline. And the true masters make it look super easy. There's no question. So just know that if this is your first time consciously trying to do it, just pick something small, like Pamela said, like a cup of coffee. Just have someone say, I want someone to bring me a cup of coffee from, I don't know, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, or I don't know if you're in Canada, Tim Hortons or whatever, just completely random, right? And then you'll see once that starts to work, it may not happen like 4 minutes from now, or someone just randomly shows. It might happen, but the likelihood is not. It might happen the next day or the next day or the next day, but just pay attention to when it does happen so that you know where that mental muscle is, and then keep working it out, keep working it out, keep, I know that meditation is the key. And I also believe lucid dreaming is also very important, and they're slightly different. And there's techniques that you can learn on how to do lucid dreaming, which is something that I recently have started practicing a lot more, lucid dreaming.
Oh, yeah. If you fall asleep thinking about what you're desiring to manifest, your subconscious mind will be programmed. And when you go into that rapid eye movement sleep, which is delta, you've got one foot in the spiritual dimension and one foot in the material, because you're still in a body, but your higher self can go off and connect with what you need to connect with to make it happen.
Mhm.
It was funny. Adam and I went to Costco, was it like a week or two ago? And I don't like sectional couches, but I found one. I was like, oh, that's really nice. It was like really comfy, soft. And I was like, I'd get this one. Anyways, I think it was either that night or the next night. Like I had a dream that I had sold my couches like to my daughter or somewhere. And I was telling Adam, like, well, we have to get rid of these because I bought that sectional. And he's like, it's so funny. Once you get focused on something, like you're dreaming about it, you're trying to find ways to get it in here. But it was just really, I don't know, it can be as easy as that as well.
Exactly. Well, we really are manifesting moment to moment. It's just that if we're unconsciously doing it, we're just living by default, and then we react to what's out there. But we're still creating our own world in our consciousness. It's just, do you want to do it consciously, or do you want to do it unconsciously and just take the crumbs that are being thrown at you from the outside world?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Well, and I think, Amanda, you hit on a good point too. Sometimes to attract something new into our life, we have to get rid of something that's really not longer serving us.
Mhm.
Good
right?
point.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to be willing to let something go to make room for
Yeah.
the new thing, right? Whatever that is.
Absolutely. Well, look at all the people that are finding, if they really want to stay in the higher frequencies now and be really, really positive with what's going on, they've had to get rid of negative friends and family members.
Mhm.
You know, it can even go as far as getting rid of people.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, my mentor when I first started manifesting was a guy named James Ray, and many people know him. I know he did go to jail for some stuff he did. I mean, it wasn't direct. I mean, but anyways, he taught me one thing that always stuck with me was nature abhors a vacuum. If you want change, if you want a new lawnmower, just get rid of your old lawnmower and you'll see how fast you get a new one. Or start pointing out all the things that are wrong with your lawnmower or your car if you want a new car. And I guarantee it, you will find it so fast. The universe wants to fill that void so quickly. And if you know how to fill it with what you want, that's how you really manifest, is you have to create that vacuum first, and then it will start to fill it for you naturally, because there always has to be fullness there. It always has to be full, and it's going to figure out a way to fill it for you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, this is awesome.
Yeah, this was good. I like all these examples of manifesting. We covered a lot of different ideas. That was great. So if people want to learn how to manifest, we're all light workers, we're all star seeds, and we all have our own modalities that we use and trainings that we give people. So all you got to do is contact us and we'll be happy to reciprocate.
Yeah, join us. We have weekly masterminds, or we call them actually advisory roundtables, where we talk about manifesting. We talk about, our goals. We talk about, things that, will help us get to that point. So if that's something you need, it's only $100 a month. We're a growing community. There's lots of affiliate ways for you to earn money. If you want to refer into the program, if you want to refer other things, we're part of another company called Agora Advantage. So just so many opportunities that we have inside of Global Strong. We do Lightworkers Secret to Success because, we're just so passionate about it. But all of us are in Global Strong, and we're just really looking to, exactly what it says, make this world stronger, and have us come together in unity, and not like what they're trying to do now, or separate us and keep us locked down and keep us away from each other, keep us from touching and holding each other. That's not the way that we're designed as humans. So that's what we're all about, is creating that connection and that unity. And we're connected with so many other communities as we're growing. So if you want to join us, just drop a comment below and we'll respond, and you can check us out. And it's cancel anytime, so it's not like you're locked into a contract by any means. But we've got some big things planned and ready to go. And 2023 is going to be an amazing year. And I was told, and I think everyone on this, I think actually we did a YouTube about it, where I was told, I think in 2019, I had a download that all the light workers would be in charge of the money very soon moving forward. It wouldn't be all the dark reptilians that are controlling the money right now. And the light workers would monitor the money, make sure it was spread out in abundance, that there was more than enough to go around for everyone. I was told that, and I believe, and I see it starting to happen already. I told it would happen before 2025. That's what I was told. So if you want to join us and get on this train and get on this boat, and it's an amazing ride, definitely come check us out, and just drop us a link in the comments below.
Absolutely. Yep. I remember when you saw that, Adam, and who would have thought that there's a lot of talk about it right now, just like we could sense.
Well, you guys were all like, "Oh, I really hope that's true," and that would be great. I remember that conversation, and I'm like, no, I was told like this is done. It's already, this timeline's already completed. We're already on this timeline. It's happening. Just give it some time. And so now, we can see it starting to happen, which is so exciting. And I think it's us really manifesting it and holding to that vision of that happening.
Oh, yeah. Light workers unite. Here we are.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
thank you, everyone. That was a great session.
Yes. And if you liked what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. If you want to have a personal conversation with one of us, if you want some energy healing from Pamela or Rebecca or Amanda, I mean, they're like the best in the world. Trust me, like I'm blessed that I get to be around these girls all the time. They do such amazing work. And, Amanda helped me release 62 pounds in 7 weeks through her energy healing. Pamela has her new theta healing class that's super, super cheap to get into. You can be a founding member in Pamela's group, which is just amazing. I'm so glad that I'm a founding member. She normally
Me too.
charges $150 for it. And I think it's 33 right now.
Mhm.
Right. So amazing discount to get in. She's only allowing a certain amount of people to get in for that. So if you want theta healing and you want, 4 sessions a month for $33 a month, I mean, it doesn't get much cheaper than that ever. This is something you got to join in for. And Rebecca's got her book that's released. She's got her courses that are out there about all of this stuff that we just talked about and much more in depth. And I've gone through her courses and they're amazing. I just can't, they're not talking about it because they're very modest, but trust me when I say this, like, I mean, their courses and their stuff and their material is just out of this world. Amazing. So if you like it and you want more information, just comment below and we'll get back to you with the information.
Great. And if you want to manifest more money, talk to Adam. He's a specialist.
Yeah, well,
Specialty.
I am now in 6 figures that I'm manifesting. And so pretty soon I'll be up to 7 figures. By the way that I'm looking, within a year, it looks like I'll probably be at that point on the rate that I'm going right now. Hopefully I can get it going a little bit quicker than that.
Very nice.
Cool. Awesome. You guys rock. Thank